I don't even have a definition in my mind anymore for garbage. Because I see it as resource.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think the more we go along too, the more we're going to have to realize that. Every once in a while I go to the dump and I just seeing it fill up. And we live in a small community. And I'm seeing that dump fill up. It's amazing that we live in such a world where the systems are so centralized. And not only were we dependent on a centralized system, but we're dependent on a monetary system that is also very fragile and right at the verge of being dysfunctional. So I think living sustainably and living independent off the grid, or at least the ability to do so, is becoming more important for me, myself, personally. I know we have plans to buy a little piece of land down in Brazil and have that as a partial retirement place, but also a place to go to in case things ever really do break down.
Well, they're in the process of breaking down, but the thing is, it's all about, what do you need now? You need water, you need food, you need shelter, you need a certain amount of energy, and it's doable. It's doable right now. And the more you learn, I mean, I can't say it enough, the more simply you learn how to live, the easier it is. I mean, a good example is, if you hike in the Himalayas, you only take a heavy pack once. And you are so miserable from taking that heavy pack that the next time you only take the bare necessities and very small amounts of that. And then you have a much more enjoyable time. So we have taken a heavy pack out into the world as a species or whatever, and now we're learning that taking a lighter pack and we have a better life. And there's the wealthy people have something to learn from the super poor, and the super poor have something to learn from the wealthy. The main thing is that we all learn from each other, and one thing we're looking at now is every person. Not just the 17% that can, in the developed world, that can afford mortgages and trying to find a housing solution for them. 83% of the people in the world don't even know what a mortgage is. So we're looking for a method of living on this planet that involves 100% of the people on the planet, and we're learning how to do that by traveling the planet, and it's getting pretty amazing what we're finding and what we're putting together, and what I'm saying is we're constantly learning.
Yeah, this gets into financial enslavement too when you get into mortgages and all of that, and again, this gets into stress-free living. But I was just reading today in Bolivia, they gave nature the status of like a human being. It has rights. And I think that's the beginning of a movement, at least in South America, to give nature rights. I mean, I almost feel a little strange even talking about stuff like this, because it seems like a no-brainer that the very thing that sustains your life should be protected. But we live in such an artificial world with all of our meat sanitarily wrapped. We never see what goes on behind the scenes. Everything's in cans and boxes. And I think it's going to get really real for a lot of people when these systems start breaking down.
Yeah, it is. It's and you can see that that's going to happen and is happening. So that it's looking at I said in a book 25 years ago, there's clouds on the horizon. Take shelter.
Yep. Yeah, I like your view from the stars too, by the way.
Yeah.
That's a good way to look at it, because it sort of releases you from the biasness of not only being a human, but being a earth being, and seeing this planet from an alien perspective, which personally I think might be being done right now, actually. But be able to see this planet from an objective point of view, it really does look like human beings are more like a virus or a bacteria on the planet. But we can turn this around if we reevaluate how we live our lives.
Yeah, it is. And that's kind of what we're seeing. You know, we started out decades ago trying to make a better way to live the way people are living. And we made some headway. But what's important to us now is change the way we're living. And then all the things we have done to make to do that in a different way become very easy. So that's kind of where we're at now, is seeing that the two thoughts have to come together. The one thought of doing things in a more sustainable way, and the other thought of needing less in your whole life program, so that what you do for yourself is much less of a task.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I wrote a book a while back called To Believe or Not to Believe, and it's about all of the ways that we believe. It ends up filtering out so much crucial information. And when you start looking at the fact that most of our beliefs are based on Iron Age beliefs, and the fact that we have grown up into this system, there's so many people, they don't get what we're talking about right now. What would you say to that person to wake them up? If you could get them and mentally and emotionally shake them by the collar with your words, what would you say? Because our magazine is starting to reach traditional people now, not because our magazine has changed or altered its view, but because traditional systems are breaking down and people are looking for alternative ways to live life and take care of their health and so on and so forth. What would you say to that traditional person to wake them up a little bit?
Well, I think the only real wake-up call is when they reach for the milk and it's not there, you know, or they reach for the power and it's not there. And, you know, you can't warn them enough, but it's if you can bring something to them right now that impresses them, and that's kind of what we're trying to do. We're trying to travel in the developed world as well as the undeveloped world, and and bring situations about that show people they do not need the centralized situation in the economy. The decentralized approach is really the shot. And I mean, it's not like I don't really try to convince people. I just put it out there and do it and live it, and then if people see the value in that, they do, and if they don't, they don't. It's not that I really want to stand on a soapbox and preach to people and tell them how they should live and shake them by the collar and change them. I want to quietly demonstrate something, and if it's right, they will follow it. It's like, I look at it more like the Pied Piper. You know, I'm playing a tune, and the people that are moved by that tune, they're going to follow that tune. And if it's the right tune, millions will follow. If it's the wrong tune, nobody will follow. And it's up to me to find the tune that is worthy of being followed, and we are trying to find that. And so what I'm saying is, I don't want to convince people. I want to have something that is so right on that they don't need convincing.
Right. Yeah, I think with the information you're talking about, your sincerity, and the fact the internet has been a game changer. You know, that has changed everything, getting information out to so many people. All of this considered, and I think people are finally starting to recognize that the big changes in life all throughout history have never come from the emperor, the king, or the president, or the people at the top. Every great positive moment in history has always come from one individual at a grassroots level that started a movement where there was a need for that movement. And I think we can see that now with our government. Our government is dysfunctional. And the people at the top, they're not going to initiate change. It's up to people like us at the grassroots level, using the power of the internet to really spread the word.
Right.
You know, it's completely up to us. I think that is the biggest thing we have to come to grips with, to bring back our power as individuals and realize I can do this. This is my life and it's passing before me. I can do this, and get off the idea that the government is going to do it for us, or some organization or anything. It is up to us as individuals.
I agree.
So you were raised in Kentucky, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I lived in Louisville for a while, actually in LaGrange.
Yeah.
Nashville, Tennessee, born in West Virginia. So we're out here in the West now, Michael.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, listen, I'm going to let you get back to your life because I know you're busy.
Okay.
I'm going to really do the best I can with this, transcribe it, and I'll be sending you some magazines once we get it published.
Sounds good. Okay.
Okay, Michael, you have a great time in Canada, and I think we'll be in touch again because my wife and I, we want to come down there, do a seminar, and get some hands-on at some point.
Sounds good. Nice to talk to you.
Yep, same here, Michael. You take care.